All right. Hey, how's it, everybody? It is right around 5 p.m. West Coast time. I'm thinking it's about 2 p.m. Hawaii time, 8 p.m. on that there East Coast, and 7 p.m. for our Central Time folk. I am Matt Statter. This is Chatter with Statter, and we are here today with all sorts of things, some ups, some downs, some in-betweens, and of course, we're going to have a little bit of a discussion about things like ice cream. All right, but before we do all that, I want to say hello to Shock in the House and Gina saying welcome to the Statterbox crew. Cola T coming in, resubbing for 29 months in a row. I cannot believe it will be April next week, Picola T. But on the other hand, I can believe that it's going to be April because I have been watching the calendar since February, waiting for April to be over. Anyone who works in taxes knows exactly what I'm talking about in regards to those 2 months. Anyway, it looks like we got Pussycat in the house saying, hey gang. Rick in the house saying hello to everybody. And let's see your shot coming in on the YouTube side saying, ice cream. And we got Darlene coming in as well. All right, great. We've got some of our usual crew. And so I guess maybe it might be time to get this party started. Boop. All right, now, Shock bragging that she just had to turn down the thermostat. I'm a little unsure what that means. I'm going to assume she means the thermostat on her space heater, unless she has some new news to let us all know that she actually got a working heater for her house. That's what's going on there, Shock-a-lock-a-lock-a-lock-a-lock? Or is it just your space heater? Either way, I'm glad you had to turn the heat down, because I've been worried that you haven't been able to have enough heat. You did get your heat exchanger replaced. Yes, awesome. So now she's got the heat. We don't know who's got the meats. Arby's got the meats, but Shock's got the heats. That's right. Awesome. That is super, super good. Super, super good. Hey, Kenny from the Cove. Good to see you. We are celebrating right now, learning that Shock now has plenty warmth, which is wonderful. I, on the other hand, might have to turn up my thermostat because I'm a little bit chilly, and I suppose I could change my shirt, but I like my shirt. So there you have it. And Picola T, eye rolls of sympathy for you because it's been cloudy and sprinkly all day. Well, let me tell you, it's been cloudy and sprinkly and haily and sunny and rainbowy and rainy and not rainy and sunny and more rainbows and some hails all day today, which is why I'm cooking some chicken soup in the background. Of course, you can't smell it, but I can, and it smells delicious. So, Pussycat bragging, it's gonna rain tonight. And cloudy and sprinkly in your area too. Yep, there you go, there you go. So, speaking of your area, Gina, Shock, I'm looking in your direction. I know that this is not how the world works, but I gotta tell ya, when I did the stream about the Oso natural disaster, I didn't mean to bring on more doom to the world, but I kind of feel like, not that my stream had anything to do with it, but it was just like, oh, another horrible example of stuff that happens instantly. I know it wasn't a natural disaster, but it's a disaster on par in the sense that it blocks out a major roadway. People were left helpless in the face of it. Natural disaster, man-made disaster. Key here is disaster. And yeah, super, super bummer about the Key Bridge thing. That is correct. And not only a bummer, obviously, for the lives lost, but but also I know that it's going to have ramifications. Just like, for instance, this was not a disaster. In fact, this was in prevention of a disaster. But the West Seattle Bridge was closed for several years because it was falling apart and it was dangerous, and they were afraid that it was just going to crumble under the weight of the traffic that traveled it every day. Well, the West Seattle Bridge is pretty much one of the only ways to get from Seattle to West Seattle. And so for several years, everyone in West Seattle, what once was a 15-minute commute had kind of turned into a 2-hour commute to and from their work. And I know that, given its importance, huge beltway, there's going to be traffic ramifications for years. And exactly, Shock, the bridge was designed for when ships were about 1/10 of the size they are now. Precisely. It was just a horrible, horrible situation. I don't know if you guys have seen the video of what happened. I do have it uploaded. If you guys haven't seen it, it is pretty stunning. On the other hand, most of you probably have seen it, and perhaps you don't want to see it again. And I can appreciate that as well. So, let's see here. Pecola T, Shock, you live near one of our country's most vulnerable places with those dozens of tidewater bridges and tunnels and military. Yep, exactly. And when one of those little things, happens, it can screw up a much vaster landscape than just that immediate. And Pussycat, it happened in Florida in 1980 when the Sunshine Skyway Bridge in Tampa collapsed. Yeah, I remember, I have vague memories of that. Obviously, I was only like 7 or 8 at that point. And I lived across the country, but I remember it was a big enough story that I actually do remember seeing news, black and white, on the tiny TV, on top of the refrigerator, in the kitchen, about that very issue. And hey, Deb Case, good to see you. Hello from Kentucky. Hello from Seattle. I'm glad that you could, pop on in. And, let's see here. And Darlene, yes, very big, important route, and people did, have passed away. They're guessing at least 6 have died, if not more at this point. But it could have been worse, and they're saying it would have been more traffic and activity. Oh, absolutely. If it happened at a different time of the day, the number of people on the bridge would have been very, very different. And let's see here. They reinforce the pilings by putting them on islands so no boats can hit it. Right. That does make sense. So, hey, Marmac, good to see you. Right now, we are talking on a downer of a subject, but don't worry, we've got plans to turn the topic back to a little bit less bummer. But okay, so Kenny, if you haven't seen it, I will show it. But before I do show it, I do want to just share with you this beautiful, beautiful picture that was taken a few years ago. And I don't know. Let's just remember the bridge in this. Whoa, not that glory. Hold on. Here we go. Let's just remember the bridge in its beauty like this. But unfortunately, what ended up happening, I don't know if this is in real time, well, no, Kenny, I don't know, it's not that gruesome, but it does show you, it just shows you exactly what happened. So, I don't think this is real time. I think this is slightly sped up. If you look at the second counter, you can see that it's, slightly sped up, maybe double time. Yeah, you can tell that it's sped up by the second count. So I'm thinking it's double time. So that it happened at this is twice as fast as it happened, but still. I feel very bad for the captain of the ship, because you know that he or she, excuse me, I apologies for that potential, for that sexist gendering. the captain of this ship had no, I mean, you know that they're going to be under massive investigation. You know that they are facing a lot of trouble. On the other hand, I really don't feel like there's much a captain could do when a ship that size virtually has no power. You can't control that. You can't control a ship that size with oars. And even if you could, it's not going to turn on a dime, right? So, hey, PB Bang, good to see you. And yes, Puzzy, cars, we're still going over it. They tried to block traffic from going over the bridge because they had a few minutes warning. The captain of the ship called a mayday, saying that that they had lost power. And as Picolati said, the only power the captain was to say, get out of the way. Exactly. And bridges don't move. So, but they did report a mayday. And they requested the bridge be cleared, or the authorities did get word that that there was an out of control boat heading toward the bridge. They were trying to close the bridge off. You can see that if they did close the bridge off, they were very lucky in the in any kind of time. They didn't close it for very long because, as you could see, there was cars still going over it when that boat was mighty close. They did tell the road crews to get off. They didn't have time. From my understanding, the word did get out, but it was literally a case of a minute and a half, 2 minutes, 3 minutes to get them off the bridge. Well, 3 minutes is a long time, but 3 minutes goes fast. It's just like, wait, what? You're telling me there's a boat coming and we have to get off the bridge. Okay, dude. Oh, dude, now I need to comprehend that. Now I need to tell my people. Now my people need to drop their stuff, get into the cars, blah, blah, it takes time. And so I'm not going to, the construction crew members were also the ones stopping the traffic. Yeah, once it hit the bridge, you'd get off. No, you couldn't, though, Puzzy. That's the problem, is the bridge pretty much collapsed. Not instantly, but that's, it just... I don't really know, judging from that footage, what else could have been done. Given the speed, yes, granted, that video was very much sped up, like probably double speed, maybe even triple speed, but exactly. So the bridge collapsing in that video, it did collapse a little bit fast, but as Shock said, I haven't seen a real time on how fast that bridge went down, but there was no getting off of it. If you see how it broke, there's no getting off. Exactly, Darlene. 3 minutes is not a lot of time to keep any other additional traffic coming on, and didn't have the time saying to get all the construction crew off. Exactly. Obviously we don't know details. Obviously right now what we're hearing is not the true story. And by true story, I mean the full details of all of the moving parts. We haven't heard all sides of the story. But from what I've heard and read so far, I'm impressed that they were able to even stop the traffic that they stopped from getting on. Like, it was just, it was just, Gina, did you not just see the video that I showed? It's a quick one. I'll show it again. The video basically, it was a huge container ship coming in on the left. So, huge container ship. And as you can see, it's got a little bit of power, but not a lot of power. Now it's got no power. And then power's going to come back on with a bunch of smoke that's going to start coming out the back. Now we've got black smoke coming out the back. Now we've got another power outage coming in. Boop-ba-doop. More black smoke. Continuing black smoke. Recovery is happening just before it hits the bridge. And there you have it. So, depending upon where you were, it is, so 10 to 1 time. So you're saying that was 10 times faster? Is that what I'm hearing you say, Shock? Is that what you mean by 10 to 1? That was 10 times faster? So, I mean, so yeah, you know, so let's see here. Hold on. The video was 53 seconds long. So if it was 10 to 1, then roughly it was a 10-minute. What we just witnessed took over the span of 10 minutes. And so yeah, that is that is the big deal. And here's the deal. Here's the thing about this bridge, in case y'all didn't know. The Francis Scott Key Bridge in Baltimore was struck by a large ship, blah, blah, blah. Let's see here. The namesake, Francis Scott Key, is to believe have sat near the site of the bridge as he witnessed the bombardment of Fort McHenry in 1814, inspiring to write the words for the Star-Spangled Banner. So, that is a little bit of history about that actual bridge, the actual bridge, or rather the location of the bridge, not the bridge itself. And so Shock is coming in with a little bit more detail, which once again only reinforces my current opinion, which is apparently the guys had about 90 seconds to get them to stop traffic. 90 seconds. You guys, that is, once again, the fact that they were able to even halt any traffic from coming is a heroic event to begin with. And so yeah, that's just insane. And then, that they were even able to do anything. I know 90 seconds can be a long time, and clearly it can be, as evidence that they were able to get some stuff done in 90 seconds. But 90 seconds isn't a long time either, right? Right. And Kenny, it's been conjectured that dirty fuel on that ship may have played part in causing the catastrophe. Yeah, I've heard scuttlebutt about that, but haven't really dug into it because I'm not familiar enough with how those ships even run to have a clue about what that's all about. But I absolutely, there's dirty fuel or not, clearly there was some sort of technological failure on that boat. And so that is, to me, you know, like, I don't know who was in charge of whatever tech failed, be it the fuel, be it the whatever, but like, I'm really hoping that person, I'm just, yeah, you know, it's just an awful position for anyone to be in, frankly. And, you know, ultimately, for the next few years, there's going to be a traffic nightmare to remind everyone of this flippin' tragedy, you know? Because even if they start building a bridge tomorrow, which they won't, they can't, it's going to take a few years to build a bridge of that size to be sound enough to be appropriate for the bridge or the boat traffic that goes through it. Because I don't know if you guys know this or not, but the Baltimore Seaport Harbor, where that boat was coming from, was, I believe, one of the, if not the largest on the eastern seaboard. Not only that, it's the one that the majority of cars get shipped to on the East Coast, that is. The West Coast, I'm sure the cars come into Seattle or Tacoma or California. But on the East Coast, if you're getting a car shipped in, it's going through Baltimore. If you're getting, you know, Baltimore has a huge port that has huge ships with huge containers, some of the biggest in the world. And so in order to build a bridge that's going to have to withstand that kind of boat traffic, or be built with that kind of boat traffic in mind, you know, I mean, because essentially looking at that ship versus the bridge, It was almost like asking a driver of a military Hummer, not the fake ones we see on the street, but the ones that they used in the military, right? It's like, it's almost like asking them to drive under a bridge made of popsicle sticks, you know? And it's like, well, you know, there's clearance enough. The Hummer can make it, but one false move, that whole popsicle stick bridge is just collapsing on top of that Hummer, that Humvee. And please don't twist my words. I'm not suggesting that bridge was built of popsicle sticks or was not a quality bridge. As mentioned earlier, it was an older bridge not designed with things like Humvees or big boats like that in mind. I'm not discounting the infrastructure that was there or disparaging it. I'm not saying that it wasn't a well-made bridge. Please understand, but you can see the difference between structure versus structure. And yeah, exactly, Shock is, yeah, they have a crew of pilots who bring these ships in and out for that reason, exactly, and they are very expert. But when you have no power, right, when you've got no power, you are just at the whim of physics. And what direction did the physics wave you in? I don't know. Where was the wind? Where was the current? What are the variables that create the physics? But you're at the whim of physics at that point. And let's see here. Darlene is saying, I did hear on the news here that there shouldn't be a great effect on the shipping. But yeah, shouldn't be that severely affected. Exactly. Luckily, there are plenty of ports on the East Coast that can absorb some of this traffic. So they're not anticipating too much of a supply chain issue, which is very good because we all know supply chain issues can cause unforeseen domino effect ramifications way down the line that just turns into a pain in the arse for everybody. And exactly, Kenny, exactly. And I'm glad you guys understood what I was going for with my analogy. Older architecture often isn't capable of withstanding the things of today. Exactly. And Shock, that bridge was finished in 77. Not the oldest bridge in the world, but not the youngest one either. That's going on 50 years. And I know that because I was born in 73 and I'm 50, so, you know. And, oh, sorry, Piccola T, now that you... And let's see here. Shock is saying there will be some weeks delay while they clear it out, but people who need to move will now have to go through one or the other tunnels. Right, exactly. Hopefully they'll abate the tolls for now. Oh, good call. I haven't heard of that in the scuttlebutt yet, but boy, oh boy, yeah, boy, oh boy, that's a really good idea, and that needs to happen. And yeah, Shock, I didn't say it earlier, but right, in 1980, as you said, the record-breaking ship was about 3.5K TEU. I don't know what that even means, but that's okay, because now it's 35K TEU. What we can say is 10 times greater, 10 times bigger, 10 times bigger. And, oh, it looks like eMusic is in the house. Hey, eMusic, good to see you. And let's see here, Rick, engineers, when the downtown bridge in Milwaukee cracked and almost collapsed, they decided to remove some all right, I'm gonna start over again because I have to reread that. Engineers, when the downtown bridge in Milwaukee cracked and almost collapsed, they decided to remove some support braces to make the bridge stronger. I bet you these are the same engineers that told the people of Hawaii that the rust made the stadium stronger. Rust makes steel stronger. Removing supports makes things stronger. You know what? I don't know enough about physics. I don't know enough about math. I don't know enough about metallurgy, metal, I don't know how to say that word. So I don't know what I'm talking about. But it seems what you told me is weird. It was too stiff, they said. Yeah, and you know, too stiff is definitely an issue when it comes to things. You do need a little bit of give, otherwise they will break. Okay. I'm still not very comfortable with what you told me, though. Okay, I'm just not comfortable with that. So, you know. Yeah. And speaking of the changing times, when we sailed through the Panama Canal, we were on a Panamax class ship, small enough to still fit through the original locks. Nowadays, the big old tankers and container ships have to go through the newer jumbo-sized locks. Right. Oh, Rick, you drove over it 10 minutes before it cracked. So I got to work. Nice. And exactly, Pussycat, some bridges sway in the wind, and they're intended to. So I do understand the concept of too stiff, but I'm still not comfortable with the idea of removing supports. I know, it makes no sense. I make no sense. It's all good. But Mama Sean's in the house saying, hey, coming in, listening while finishing making dinner. Awesome. We are, as I'm sure you might have figured out since you were listening, talking about the terrible, horrible, no good, very bad tragedy. And I know that generally speaking on this channel, we try not to talk about stuff that matters, but I don't know. I knew that Gina and Shock were in the vague area of potential traffic ramifications, and I just feel like it couldn't go unmentioned. That's all. And so, and let's see here. And yeah, exactly. Kenny, let us not forget about the Tacoma Narrows Bridge. Precisely. And Tacoma Narrows Bridge actually did eventually get built, so it could withstand so it had some flexibilities, because otherwise Galloping Gertie decided to go bucking, and yeah, it was a problem. And if you don't know about the original Tacoma Narrows Bridge, I don't know how you don't, because it's a pretty well-known collapse, but we can show it later on. I've got it somewhere on my system. We're not going to show it we're not going to show it now, but because I don't know where it is, but yeah. Let's see here. And Picola T, it was hard to wrap your brain around the Evergreen Point floating bridge because it floats. I know, right? And it supports a gazillion tons of vehicles every day. Yeah, but once that hollow, what I had a hard time understanding, Picola T, was how on earth is the pontoon that keeps the bridge floating made of concrete? Like, since when does concrete float? But when the pontoon door gets left open and the concrete fills with water, suddenly things sink. And true, Darlene, this isn't political or medical, although some people have been turning it into that, but that's whatever. And you're right, exactly, Pussycat. It is an American tragedy like the Twin Towers, although, obviously, at this point, well, no chance of it having the death toll, obviously, that tragedy had. But it absolutely is an American tragedy, and yeah, Rick, it had great harmonics. Yes, that is exactly what happened with the Tacoma Narrows Bridge. And Gina's coming in. Oh, okay, you're closer to DC than Baltimore, and you can't drive. Got it. Okay. And Shock saying most of you use the tunnels anyway. Got it. Okay, good. Well, that's good. And yeah, footage of the Tacoma Narrows Bridge even made it into the video for Shaking It by Los Lobos. Exactly, dude. It's totally, it's pretty well-known footage. And, hey there, Devin. Good to see you. Right now, we're just wrapping up, some recognition of the tragedy that happened earlier this week in Baltimore. But, we don't have to hang hang on to that topic for very long because I do have something that I wanted to ask you guys about. But before I wanted to ask you guys about this, I wanted to share something with you because even though I don't eat this pizza, you guys might eat this pizza and you probably will want to know about this. But hold on. Cola T, years ago when you worked for the Tacoma Concrete Company that built the Ford Island Bridge for Pearl Harbor, they floated concrete sections, just like pontoons, across the Pacific. Upon arrival, they opened the seals, which filled with water and anchored them into place. Oh, wow. That is so crazy, dude. That is so crazy. All right. Well, we are going to be wrapping up the little bridge story, the huge bridge story. And now I want to share with you, this is straight from Jordan the Stallion, and we've talked about Jordan the Stallion before. I personally am not a Papa John's pizza fan. That being said, I know a lot of people who love Papa John's. For those of you who don't know, Jordan the Stallion is a YouTube content creator who knows anything and everything about fast food and casual dining secrets. From recipes to secret code hacks to how to make your version at home, he knows it. And so I want to share this with you guys. For all you Papa John's fans, I might have said Papa Murphy's, I didn't mean to, Papa John's. If you're a fan of Papa John's, I need you to watch this.
Food companies have not stopped contacting me for the past 48 hours trying to figure out how I know so many fast food secrets. Come here. Ever since I shared with everybody the Domino's pizza secret, right, where you can get over 40% off your order, okay, somebody who worked at Papa John's contacted me and said, that's so funny that Domino's had that secret. Then he said, it's a good thing that we don't have any secrets. And then I responded saying, you guys do have a fast food secret, of course. And they were like, no, we don't. And my response was, SM25. Then his response was, what is that? I said, SM25 is a coupon code that you put in on an online order at Papa John's. It takes off 25% of any menu item. Then they said they'd give me 3 pizzas if I told them my sources. Come here. I like Pizza Hut anyway, so I declined that offer.
Something that's a weird flex in your world that no one else probably ever thinks about.
Food companies have not stopped contacting me for the past 48 hours trying to figure out how I know so many fast food secrets. Come here. Ever since I shared with everybody the Domino's pizza secret, right, where you can get over 40% off your order, okay, somebody who worked at Papa John's contacted me and said, that's so funny that Domino's had that secret. Then he said, it's a good thing that we don't have any secrets. And then I responded saying, you guys do have a fast food secret, of course. And they were like, no, we don't. And my response was, SM25. Then his response was, what is that? I said, SM25 is a coupon code that you put in on an online order at Papa John's. It takes off 25% of any menu item. Then they said they'd give me 3 pizzas if I told them my sources. Come here. I like Pizza Hut anyway, so I declined that offer.
Something that's a weird flex in your world that...
All right, so there you have it, Rabbit. If you like Papa John's, or even if you don't like Papa John's and you're stuck, trying to figure out if you're stuck and that's the only option, and you don't want to pay full price because you don't even like it that much, SM25, my friends, SM25. That is the key, SM25. So, if you like Jordan the Stallion, subscribe to his channel all you want. He actually probably doesn't need your subscription because he's like blown up because everybody loves fast food secrets. He is a very personable guy to watch. His stuff is super short. Even his longer videos are like only a minute. So there you have it, Rabbit. And exactly. Yeah, I don't eat a lot of pizza either, Darlene. And Shock is like, I'll hold out for the burrito tacos, no doubt. Thomas the Turtle, hey, what's up? We are right now talking about some fast food hacks. If you like Papa John's pizza and you want 25% off your online order, just type in SM25 in the coupon code. And Darlene, but you can share this with someone you know that does. Perfect. That's exactly it. I would love it if you did that. And so, and Kenny from the Cove coming in with some real facts. In spite of how old he looks, Jordan is only 27 years old, which is very true. I actually thought he was my age. I totally thought he was my age. I kind of had a crush on him. Then I found out that he was 26. He sounds like he's turned 27 since then. Then I found out he was 26, and I was like, oh my God, never mind. I feel like a dirty old lady now. So I've quashed that crush because I thought it was an age-appropriate crush when I had it, okay? I don't have the crush anymore. He's way too young. And let's see here. Your husband being anti-cheese and you being anti-wheat pizza is pretty much not happening. Yeah, totally. And Rick, you Googled SM25 and all you got was linear bearing, seal, external accessory, 25mm close, lead time 1 day, $17.96 each. Well, hey, you know what? I'll tell you what. If that hack is wrong or if they've since turned it off, you'll know before you order. You know, enter the coupon code and it should show up. And then if it doesn't show up, well, then just be like, never mind then. I don't want no Papa John's if you ain't gonna give me the 25% off. You can always do that. But instead of like telling that to your computer, you're gonna wanna just empty your cart is a better way to not do that. Because your computer might just be like, well, I don't care. It's still here in your cart. One wrong button and we're gonna order it. So you better empty the cart. And let's see here. And yeah, Gina, Gen Z age faster. Yeah, he talks about that a lot. And no, Kenny, I'm not a cougar, actually. And which, yeah, very much not. 27, a man is useless at the age of 27. A man barely gets useful after the age of 40. So, I mean... And let's see here. Shock. The demise of the crush. A couple weeks ago, your dojo crush made guacamole for a party with zero picante, no onions, no chilies, no nothing. No more crush. Oh, good Lord. No, that is a problem, my friend. I'm not even someone who likes that much spice, but guacamole has got to be more than just crushed avocado and lime. I mean, you've got to have... Shoot, I don't even like cilantro, and there better be some cilantro in my guacamole. Pardon me, you guys. That came out. Oh my. Sorry, you guys. You saw a little of the real deal here. I have opinions about guacamole, it seems. My, oh my. Anyway, yeah, I know. Shock. I didn't realize that was going to spark profanity, but suddenly the F-bomb was dropped. All right, well, yeah, getting spicy in here. Exactly. I took all the spice that wasn't in that guacamole and put it in my commentary, okay? And right, exactly, Kenny. What do you do at the end of the day with someone in their 20s? Tuck them in, read them a bedtime story? I know, Marmac. I was just as surprised as you. I am literally clutching my pearls. Okay, they're not pearls, but whatever. Hey, Badris, how are you? I'm doing pretty good. Accidentally just said a word that I try not to say on the stream. Luckily, luckily Picola T heard me. I said fork. That's it. I said fork. Okay, well, now that I've done forked up, why don't we fix things with a Lono listening break, shall we? Yes, let's listen to some Lono.
o'clock dawning, we're about to start a beautiful day. Will we go west side? Kind of a long drive. Think I'm gonna stay right here in Kihei. In Kihei, islands on the ocean. There we'll spend our sunny days. The beaches in reach. We're sailing the South Shore down at Cove Park, watching the waves. Poolside with some of our friends. At the Oasis, the fun never ends. It's the island rhythm, this side of Maui. Look at the moonlight shining so bright. In the islands of the oceans, there we will spend our sunny days. The beaches in reach, we're sailing the South Shore down at the Cove Park, watching the whales. Blue skies today. Blue skies in Kihei. Here comes the trade wind blowing away all of the troubles you're feeling today. Watching the waves. Look at the people having a good time. They get the rhythm when they hear Marty Dread. It's the sensation sweeping the nation. Yes, it began right here in Kihei. In Kihei, islands on the oceans, there we will spend our sunny days. The beaches in reach, we're sailing the South Shore down at the Cove Park, watching the waves. Blue skies today. Blue skies in Kihei. Here comes the trade wind blowing away all of the troubles you're feeling today.
There you go. And yes, Lono does have some outstanding music equipment, most of which you don't even get to see in that video, but you do get to see some little bits and pieces. You get to see his little award in the back, that silver record, platinum record, gold record, I don't really know what it's made of, that he got for winning a John Lennon song contest. Yes, indeed. And that Martin guitar. Yep, he does. He does have at least one Martin guitar. That is for gosh darn sure. And yes, totally a new old song. That particular song is actually really old song. But it has not been released on, well, okay. It has been released before, but not on any album that's currently available. So I believe it was originally released on Blue Eyes of Summer, but he doesn't sell Blue Eyes of Summer anymore. He doesn't really, there's songs on there he doesn't want to admit to. But that is one song he does want to admit to, and he has redone it for the Eevee stuff that he's got going on right now. 2 Eevee releases he's already got, Eevee music releases. When Ancestors Speak and Life is Pretty Good, and then the last release, which will eventually happen one day, before the end of the year, he promises. EV345. That song is on EV345, and I am annoyed with myself when I say this. I've already said this to Lono, and he didn't get angry, so whatever. That song reminds me, the beat, the rhythm, the lyrics even, to me, that song should be in a Disney movie. I feel like whenever I hear that song, I see a cartoon. It's like an opening song to show everyone the village that somebody is happy to live in Kihei. I swear the song sounds like it should be in a Disney movie to me. And some people would take that as a compliment. I'm not so sure it is a compliment, but I do like the song. So there you go. All right, so that was our Lono listening break. We had a little bit of a talk about food, Papa John's beforehand, but now I'm going to show you another little video that it's really, the video's not that important. But but the commentary on this video is what caught me, and we will have this conversation. And Puzzycat, there's a new Disney movie coming out soon about Hawaiian culture. Oh, right, yeah, not even surprised about that. Is it a new cartoon? Because they're doing a live action of Moana, and I think they're doing they did a live action they already did a live action of Lilo and Stitch, right? Has that been released yet? Are these new cartoons, Puzzycat, or are these live action remakes of old cartoons? I guess what I'm trying to say. And there we go. Worldwide Fashions by Hama Jang. There you go. But, okay, you guys, here we go. I saw this cute little thing. Shock, you thought you heard some noise about Moana 2. Interesting. Yeah, I've only heard about the live action remake of Moana. Doesn't mean there isn't more things in the work. I just heard about the live action remake. And I think The Rock is gonna be in it. But okay, so Darlene's also heard of Moana 2. Okay, cool. All right, there you go. And Shock, you know that I'm the last person to consult in matters of popular culture. Well, you know more about this than I do, so two people like us who don't know much about much, well, at least one of us stumbled on it. And but all right, you guys, here, I saw this other quick little reel on, I don't know, let's just say Facebook, or I don't know where I saw it, but boom, it made me think and wonder. So, the sample I give to customers who don't spit out their sample. The sample I give to customers that spit out their sample. Now, obviously, he doesn't know who's going to spit out the sample, so how could he adjust the serving size for it to begin with? But I have to ask you guys, who spits out their ice cream sample? Do you spit out your ice cream sample? Because even if I don't like the ice cream, I'll still eat the sample. Do some of you actually spit out your ice cream sample? Am I just weird because I don't? Puzzycat, okay, good. You never waste an ice cream sample. It never would occur to me to spit out an ice cream sample. What? So yeah, someone asked in the comments of that video, who around here spits out exactly, Aveda. It's not wine. And yeah, and people in the comments, somebody asked who actually spits out their ice cream sample. Apparently a lot of people do. Like in the comments, people are like, why would I want to swallow it if it tastes bad? Blah, 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 blah. And Darlene, if it's really gross, I'd spit it into a napkin, but not ice cream. Exactly. Darlene, I'm right there with you. I will sample something and maybe, due to its texture, its whatever, have to go, oh yeah, no. But ice cream, no. It just... You just swallow that. I mean, right, Kenny, spitting out an ice cream sample? What is this, the stupid ages? And, Shock, there was a Baskin-Robbins flavor I would spit if I accidentally took a bite of it. Right, but you're asking for a sample, which would not be an accidental, right? So when you're getting a sample, right, Mama Shama, it would have to be really nasty, and I can't even imagine. I mean, because seriously, the only thing I could maybe imagine is like, oh, I thought this was strawberry ice cream, but once I got it in my mouth, I realized it's salmon ice cream. I could maybe see that. But if I knew what I was getting to begin with, I just don't know. I just don't know. And Pussycat, I had ice cream cone earlier tonight after your meatloaf. Yum. Yum. And, let's see here. Shock, if it was nasty as that stuff, I'd go get into the napkin wiping off your tongue. But right, I wouldn't ask for something if I thought I wouldn't like it. Exactly. So, I mean, I totally can understand, like, if they thought they were getting raspberry sorbet in that particular thing, and then lo and behold, it turned out to be raw beef flavored. Okay, I guess I can see why I would spit it out. But usually there's labels, right? And let's see here. Ooh, almond maple ice cream. Sign me up, says it's Shocked. She's got some yummy stuff. And Kenny, I've only been around for 58 years, almost, and I've never encountered an ice cream I didn't like. And it would have to have bones, burning, or poison in it before I'd spit it out. Exactly. And Marmac, speaking the universal truth, samples are typically really small, so can't be too nasty, right? Right, exactly. And I remember when he did that. Shock's husband made tomato ice cream once, and even he didn't like it. I remember hearing stories about that. Yeah. And the habanero ice cream he did like, but I wouldn't even try. Fair enough. And your husband loves tomatoes. Yeah, but okay, but did he spit it out? Right? I mean, he took the ice cream and he didn't like it, but did he spit it out? And Mama Sean, yes, there are some people making savory ice creams, but I have never had the opportunity to see any, let alone try them. I knew a guy who made cheddar cheese ice cream specifically for a Filipino customer. And he now this particular Filipino customer, when they ordered ice cream, they ordered 100 gallons of ice cream. You know, like they had a reason for contacting someone to custom make a large amount of ice cream. In his adventures of trying to formulate a cheddar cheese ice cream, he went to Tillamook to get some high-end cheddar powder. He went here, he tried a bunch of different cheddar powders to formulate the perfect cheddar cheese flavor for his ice cream. And the powder that he ended up settling on wasn't Tillamook. Any guesses on the cheese powder that he ended up settling on? All y'all have heard of it. My best guess is all of y'all have seen it. All of y'all have tasted it. All of y'all have touched it. Yep. You better believe it, my friends. Kraft. The powder from the Kraft mac and cheese box was the cheddar cheese powder that he was just like, when you translate it into ice cream, it had the smooth flavor or the smooth consistency of ice cream. Some of the cheddar powders didn't freeze well, didn't have the right texture, had the right flavor balance, the flavor profile. He was so pissed off and so thankful. But he was so pissed off that he had wasted all of this money on expensive cheddar cheese powders. And it turned out that one of the cheapest ones, one of the easiest to acquire, one of the cheapest ones was actually the one that he ended up going with. And Philippines ice cream would be mayo, right? No, he was like, Filipino people Filipino people actually do like the ice creams, but they have weird flavors like fish, cheese. They also have ube, which was not that unusual. And the guy that I was talking to who made the cheddar cheese stuff also had an ube ice cream that he made for this particular Filipino customer. But yeah, dude, seriously, yeah, it was cheddar cheese ice cream, and there you go. And let's see here, Marmac vanilla. Wait, hold on, Marmac. Garlic vanilla ice cream. After the first bite, cannot taste the garlic. Interesting. And let's see here. Hold on. Kenny from the Cove, you just bought a tub of peanut butter chocolate ice cream the other day, and it is totally yummers. Oh, dude, when I was a kid, peanut butter chocolate with peanut butter in it was my favorite flavor of ice cream. And let's see here, Shock. Telling Marmac, some friends forgot to rinse the cutting board once and made blueberry garlic ice cream. Everyone loved it. They also couldn't figure out what it was for quite some time. Right, totally. And heck yeah, Kenny, I'd roll the dice on some ube ice cream as well. And Puzzycat, just as long as I don't try hamburger meat or anything like that. Yeah, I've never heard of hamburger flavored ice cream, but that doesn't mean somebody hasn't tried it somewhere. I've never heard of it, but I had the reason why I know about weird Filipino ice cream is because when I was in high school, in my high school, there were a lot of Filipino people. I was friends with some of them, and one of my Filipino friends over the summer had gone to the Philippines to visit family, and it was one of the first times that she'd ever been to the Philippines that at least she could remember. She probably had been when she was a baby, but it was basically the first time that she was old enough to comprehend what was going on. And so it was a culture shock for her. And the biggest culture shock for her was when she went to go get some strawberry ice cream. I've already given an example of what strawberry ice cream could be, and that's exactly what it was. It was fish flavored ice cream. She did spit it out. That's true. She did. But when you're thinking strawberry and you end up fish, I think we can all agree that's an acceptable response. Very acceptable response. And let's see here, Gina, when those self-serve frozen yogurt places were more popular, I used to mix the flavors like cake batter on the bottom, chocolate on the top, and then the fruit toppings. Well, why wouldn't you do that? Because it's like a cake then. You've got your fruit toppings, your chocolate icing, and then you got your cake. It sounds delicious, actually. There's a frozen yogurt place in my town. I don't think about it very often. Now I'm thinking about it a lot. Thanks, Gina. Now I want frozen yogurts. And exactly, Darlene, there's a big difference between strawberry and fish. I would have spit that one out, but in my napkin. Exactly. There you have it, Rabbit. All right, so it sounds like we're all firmly on the side of maybe, not spitting out free ice cream. And Kenny, yes, I would have serious trust issues and emotional trauma if I craved strawberry ice cream and got fish ice cream instead. Yeah, she actually was very weary of street food from that point on. It left a mark. It was one of the main stories that she brought back from the Philippines. I mean, it really, yes, she ordered based on color because she didn't know how to read Tagalog. And so, she understood how to hear it, but she's not really fluent in it. She can't speak it, right? And she ordered based on color. That's exactly what she did. She ordered based on color. And let's see here. Yeah, Puzzycat, you don't need the cake. You lick the frosting with a spoon right out of the cup. I'm sure I've confessed this to you before, but I'm gonna confess to you again. One of my earliest life goals as an adult, like I was like 3, and I remember thinking to myself, when I get grown up, I'm gonna buy a tub of frosting and eat it straight from the tub. Now, there should be no wonder as to why I'm a fat girl when, as 3-year-olds, one of my first life goals was to eat frosting straight out of the tub, but here we are. And Kenny from the Cove, I think the Choco Taco still exists, doesn't it? I feel like I saw one in the freezer not too long, not my freezer, but like a freezer not too long ago. Oh, okay, so no, I didn't see one, but Marmac is saying rumors are floating that it is gonna come back. Okay. And Bacola Tea, they have croissant filled with ice cream in Sicily for breakfast. Okay. A croissant filled with ice cream, gelato, whatever you want to call it. I will have that for breakfast. I mean, I won't because I'm not eating gluten and sugar, but if I was eating gluten and sugar, oh yeah. Oh yeah. And, Mama Sean, I can't remember where some place serves ice cream in a bun rather than a cone. Not so sure about that. You know, I think it would be okay if it's a slightly sweet bun. You know, like even a Hawaiian King's Hawaiian roll, you know, would probably be sweet enough. But it would have to be a sweet bun. And it would have to be the bun that's not too chewy, too bready, you know, too much. The texture of the bun would have to be right. But, you know, it's sort of like a little sandwich, ice cream sandwich. And I would think, I don't know. Yeah, a croissant with a cup of coffee, ice cream filled croissant with a cup of coffee actually sounds delicious, to tell you the truth. And I know that in France they've got chocolate filled croissant, but you know what? Every time I've seen one, there's not nearly enough chocolate to croissant ratio, so I kind of feel like those are a waste of time. Whereas a croissant that was like filled with cut open and then filled with ice cream, that would not be a waste of my time. Not at all. All right, you guys. So it is Wednesday, and sometimes we talk about whales on Wednesday. And so today, thought I would talk about a couple different things. Now, we're gonna talk about something that is not okay. We're going to talk about something that's kind of a bummer, but then we're going to go and we're going to talk about good things. But as you guys know, in the Salish Sea, which is the Puget Sound, wow, words are jarred. Okay, panda whales are what we're trying to talk about. Yes, panda whales. So, we have several different types of orcas in the Salish Sea. We usually talk about southern residents here on this channel, but we also talk about what's known as the Biggs transients. We also, of course, have the northern residents, which live in Alaska and north, basically, of Vancouver Island. The southern residents are basically Vancouver Island down the Salish Sea into the Puget Sound. And then we've got the Biggs, and the Biggs kind of go wherever they want between Alaska and Oregon. The Biggs transients, as we have discussed, are the ones that eat mammals. They're the ones that eat seals. They're the ones that eat turtles. They're the ones that eat things that are on the beach, not fish. Now, in order to do that, sometimes they have to practically land themselves, beach themselves. We've seen video of it. If you've been on this stream for a long, long time, you've seen videos here of Biggs transients basically almost coming to shore to get their prey. It's normal. It's how they hunt. Unfortunately, sometimes those hunts don't go so well. And this particular last weekend, there was a whale that was found at the north end of Vancouver Island, It was a mother Biggs transient teaching her baby whale to hunt. And the mom, unfortunately, was beached and trapped in the shallow waters, while her baby was in the bay, waiting and crying and calling for the mom. And unfortunately, even though plenty people came out to try and rescue her, this is the mom, and she has been identified. I do not recall what her transient number is, but when the tide went out, she was stranded, and when the tide came back in, she was in bad enough shape that she did eventually drown. Now, the transients are a larger pod, and I don't know right now what happened to the baby. I don't know if the baby has been reunited with the pod. My best guess is that the baby has been reunited. But, and I know this is silly, and I know that this has nothing to do with anything, but this mom passed away on last Saturday. The Sunday after, the next day, above the town where this whale was found, this cloud formation was seen. And they took a picture. And I know that it's superstitious, but you know, it just seems like mom was looking over little baby. And anyway, I didn't think I'd cry, but you know, that happens. And so it's beautiful cloud formation above an area where something that, you know, something that wasn't so beautiful. So, yes, exactly, Kenny. If only someone could create a vehicle to get the really big sea mammals back into the water unhurt before it's too late. Yeah, you know, unfortunately getting that big vehicle to the beaches where they're sometimes stranded is, I mean, it's a wonderful idea. You know, it's just the logistics are just, you know, the logistics are tricky. The devil's in the details. And exactly, if all our feelings were rational, we'd be a lot happier, says Shock. Exactly. And so, wait. Oh, no, oh. Hey, Pussycat, I appreciate that, but actually, Aveda, she meant it like, shut up! Like, she, Aveda's my coworker. I totally knew what she meant by shut up. So, Aveda, apologies for having the message deleted. Pussycat, thank you so much for being on the ball for that. But contextually speaking, actually, the shut up was totally appropriate. And exactly, like, as soon as I read it, I could hear her saying that. And yes, precisely, Kenny, who's cutting onions in here? I don't know. It's not me. Shut up. But you can't. Okay, you guys. So Whale Talk Wednesday, that is a downbeat thing. Here we go. Here you go. You're going to put me in timeout? There you go, Fuzzycat. Put me in timeout. But we have good Whale Talk Wednesday too. And so I did want to, I mean, I started out on the, oh, you're going to put me in timeout for the F-bomb. Yeah. Oh, I deserve that. Oh my God. I couldn't. You guys, you know that that's not something I try to do. You know it's something I'm capable of. Just didn't mean to do it. But here we go. C Honda, thank you, C Honda, for these next videos, because these next videos are what's going to bring our little onion fest to a close, because also more about the orcas, the pandas, etc. And this one, this is something that I think I've touched on before, but we're going to watch it anyway because it's still something none of us know for certain, but we all suspect.
It's possible there is a new species of orca we don't know about. CTV Shannon Patterson has the story.
Last May, 40 kilometers off the coast of California, UBC marine mammal scientists spotted 3 very unique killer whales.
We approached them and I was photographing them and looking, and I didn't recognize them at all. And I was like, oh, this is very cool. We all got a little excited because when we don't recognize something like that, it's like, what could these be?
The scientists noticed bite marks from a cookie cutter shark behind the whale's dorsal fin.
So what was really unique is that these killer whales, almost all of these killer whales had these circular scars, which really showed us that these animals are spending their time in the open ocean.
New research on these rare orcas, which live in the open ocean and feed on marine mammals, suggests they could be a subgroup of transient killer whales or even a whole new species.
We saw in one case they killed a sea turtle. That's interesting because we don't see that happening up here in British Columbia.
In the last quarter century, there have only been 9 encounters with 49 of these yet uncategorized orcas.
We don't know who they are. They don't belong in any catalog of whales. We don't know whose family they're from. But they're seen in these offshore waters. So it's made us question whether or not they belong to a different population of whales that we simply don't know.
Solving that mystery won't be easy.
Well, the best information will come with genetic samples. And so that would require that somebody who happens to see one of these unique whales way offshore happens to have the ability to take a biopsy sample. And so the likelihood of that happening is very, very small.
But scientists are determined to figure out who these whales are.
The open ocean literally is the last frontier. And we still have so much to discover. And I think these whales are part of that discovery. They're telling us, hey, there's more out here than what you might know.
Shannon Patterson, CTV News.
All right, so that is one of the neat things. There could be a whole different species of panda whale out there that we don't know about. And I have no idea what a cookie cutter shark is, but it sounds like Devin might have looked it up and said, ugh, hagfish. I don't know what a hagfish is. I don't know if the hagfish is the same thing as a cookie cutter shark, but I have written it down because now I'm kind of curious about what it is. And I'll take the see, Honda. I would love to take the biopsy, but I don't know how. Now, that is a super neat thing, but this is a video that I'm super excited about. And honestly, I feel like I might have watched this video before. I might have even shared this video with you before. I don't really know. But I don't care. I don't care. I'm going to shut to you again because it just makes me so happy. As you guys know, if you've hung around here, the southern resident orcas are the pod of orcas that in the mid-70s was southern residents are 3 pods. Those pods were basically decimated in the 70s due to the hunting and capturing of the orcas to be put into captivity. And now we've got a bunch of big old whales in captivity, and the captivity people are saying whales cannot thrive once they've been held captive. They can't thrive back in the wild. And we were going to try to have a release of a Salish Sea whale, but that plan got cut short when the whale passed away while still in captivity. That being said, people in Russia are doing things a little bit differently. And they have found that whales in captivity can thrive in the wild. They can. And here is a video that talks all about that. And that is what makes me super happy today.
Oh my god! That was absolutely phenomenal. Just wow. hilarious race. At one point, one orca was coming up and it must have had a seal in its mouth, and the other orca came up and did a handbrake turn and was like, "Arr!" and they went nose to nose. This one's swimming forwards, this one's swimming backwards, and they're sharing a seal. It was ridiculous. Just amazing how tender they are. One catches the seal and then they all gently share it with one another and with the baby. It's just absolutely phenomenal. Just wow.
We are right now with a pod of orcas, and I've just taken a picture of one orca that's been tagged, and it means that it's one of those orcas that has been released here in the Russian Far East. That means that despite all the arguments from the captive industry, orcas actually can be released and safely returned into their natural environment and live happy life in where they belong to.
All right, so there you have it. Looks like there is some hope to release captive orcas. Hopefully this will be happening more often in the future. Obviously, the United States has a little bit different way of approaching things than Russia, but I have to admit, in this particular case, I kind of appreciate where Russia's coming from more than the United States. I'm not suggesting that this is my opinion on most things, but in this particular instance, I'm gonna give Russia some props. And for those of you who are wondering, what is a cookie cutter shark? I looked it up, it's gross. So, that's a cookie cutter shark. They're tiny, they're not very big. But they're parasitic basically, and they latch onto larger animals, as you can see in the picture on the left, and they just take a hunk of flesh out of them. So that's what they're talking about in regards to those circular scars. And Aveda, right, worst cookie ever, abso-flippin'-lutely. And eMusic, I thought that I watched that video before too. I really there was a lot of things about that video that reminded me of what I was just like, I feel like, but yeah, those teeth could definitely do some damage. I don't want to be bit by one of those. Luckily, they're just deep dwellers, so I probably won't be running into them. And yeah, exactly, Sionda. Oh, so much for the cookie discussion. Yeah, we could have veered way off. We could have veered into a much more delectable and delicious discussion. But now that we saw that picture, oh, not so much. And speaking of, oh, not so much. Check this out, y'all. Okay, so if you've hung out on this stream, you've maybe heard me mention how I am kind of afraid of river otters because river otters can take down alligators. And whenever I mention that, generally Andre comes in with talking about giant river otters from South America and this, that, and t'other thing. Because we all know that in South America, things are giant. And, well, they found a new species of snake in South America that's really giant. It's over 28 feet long. Its head is as big as the head of a human. Yeah, and somebody, the guy who first spotted it, yeah, he went swimming with it. Yeah. That's just part of the 28.5 foot snake. 28.5 foot snake. That's it right there. Yep. There you go. And Aveda coming in with some updated stuffuses. Yeah, dude is totally dressed for underwater. I don't understand that picture at all. But apparently it is a legit picture. It actually is a legit picture. Yeah, and so Pocolo, basically that snake is 5 times taller than you. Exactly. And, yep. And I know why, dude, that snake could totally eat. Right. I don't get it. But, going back to the calf, the orca calf, the stranded calf on North Vancouver Island is still there, but they're working on getting the calf back out to sea, but there's only about 20-minute window each day to leave the cove. Also, the local First Nations named the baby Brave Little Hunter. And I realized that I amended what Aveda wrote. I can tell you right now, I don't even begin to know how to pronounce the First Nations tribal name, nor the name that was given, so you're gonna have to... I don't even know how to Google that, alright? So, yeah. But yeah, so it has apparently been named by the locals, and that is a good thing. Hopefully they can help guide that little one back to sea, because 20 minutes for each tidal current or whatever. Very limited window to get out of that bay. I hope that there is great success with leading that little one out of there. And exactly, Darlene, I wouldn't have gotten in that water with that kind of snake. I know. I just don't. And Shock. And let's see here. Wait, someone who was properly dressed swam down, sedated the snake, and then the dude went down for the photo op. Could be. So yeah, so this is what we're talking about in regards to the snake and the photo op. And so that's what you came back to, Gina. And I'm pretty sure you don't like snakes, so I don't really know why I showed that to you, but we're gonna switch back to my face now. Boop. But yeah, apparently it is a new species. They do think it's a new species of anaconda. And if this makes y'all feel any better, the snake in that photo actually a few days later was found dead. They're still investigating why. It's a mystery, actually. They thought the snake was perfectly healthy. Thought the snake was in the prime of their life. They were really excited that it was a female snake that probably had already had a couple litters. I don't know if litters are what you call snake offspring or snake batches. I don't know. So they were definitely bummed when they found out that snake had passed along. But just so you know, that snake's no longer a risk to anyone. But just so you know, its head is as big as a human head. And yeah, there we go. So it looks like we have got, let's see here. Hold on. We've got potency. I don't know how to say all the things. But hey, good to see you, Kula Kula. No, yeah, no. What? Wait. Cool, I don't, words, they're so hard. Hey there, new chatters. One day I'll get your names right. But right now, we're on the last 2 minutes of our stream. Puzzycat has already thrown the 2-minute warning as per his usual agreement. And we are counting down to the bottom of the hour. So I want to thank everybody for hanging out. And let's see here. Hold on, Devin. So there's a YouTube channel that shows 2 small clawed otters. They're in Japan. They're the cutest, most neurotic little things you've ever seen. They're Kataro and Hana. Dude, river otters are neurotic. I'm not even going to lie. But they're also really scary. I mean, seriously, Okay. I think you guys know me enough to know that I do stupid stuff. So, like, do I go camping in the winter where it's snowy? Yes. In a tent? Yes. Do I get in a rubber river raft in the middle of January when it's 25 degrees out? Yes. Yes, I do. Do I chase coyotes down in my car and then get out of my car to further chase them down into the trail? Yes. Am I going to die by saying, psst, psst, let me pet you? Yes. These are things that you should all know about me. And river otters freak me out. So, just, you know. All right. On that note, the usual suspects, that's what we're going to be watching this Saturday. Statterbox at the cinema, 6 p.m. West Coast time on Saturday. That is what we're going to be watching. And yes, exactly, Shock. Again, if our feelings were rational. But no, I have a rational reason for being afraid of otters. I've told you this story before, and I'm going to tell it to you again, even though we're at the bottom of the hour. I was watching the sunrise across the water from the Seattle skyline in West Seattle, and I noticed a family of otters that were swimming along in the water. I was like probably 5 feet above a rock wall on the sidewalk, minding my own business. And one of them, their otters, decided to get all up in my business and chase me away. And he did. And I respect him for that and fear him. Maybe it was a she. It probably was a she. If it was anything like my little girl kitten, it was a she. Yeah. And let's see here. So yeah, river otters are not to be trifled with. And share the video before I leave us, please. Rick, what video? The video of me getting freaked out by river otters? There is no video. But what video? I'll share it with you before I leave. But what video? Exactly. Small critters do not know they are small. And I don't know, Darlene, I didn't see any young with it, but whatever, dude. Yeah. It made me scared. And so, Rick, if I know what video you want me to share, I'll share it one more time. What video? Because I can't imagine you want me to... oh, my wild walks after the coyotes? Yeah, no. I don't know if I'm going to do that again. Because I will admit, halfway down the trail, I did think to myself, what are you doing? And I got back in my car. So there you go. And that's exactly it, Shock. Every species of animal, including us, has been caught on tape being in a kolepuka. All right, then. Oh, before I leave us, I get it now. Hence the haha. Yes, and exactly, Mad Statter forgot she was small. No, actually, that's not true. I weigh way more than that coyote. But still. All right, you guys, I want to thank you for hanging out. I want to thank you for subbing and resubbing and gift subbing. But mostly, I just want to thank you guys for chattering it up. We had some highs, we had some lows, we had some tears. We had all those things. And Gina, I'm glad that you're okay with the snakes. I couldn't remember if it was spiders or snakes. Good to know that the big snake with a head the size of a human head didn't freak you out. Because reading about it kind of freaked me out, and I used to own a snake. So, we'll see each other on Saturday for the usual suspects. Until then, enjoy your ice cream, or maybe enjoy your cookies. All right then, see you later.